This is your Monex Metals Market Update with Mike Maroney.
Good afternoon. It's Monday, June 12th. My name is Mike Maroney, and I'm coming to you today from the Monex Precious Metals studio. Let's do our week in preview. First of all, for those of you who watched last week's video, we talked a little bit about the current resistance levels that both gold and silver had achieved. Silver hit a high of 1777, which was an exact Fibonacci number, and gold hit a high of 1297, which was a very key resistance level. And in the video, we talked about how gold and silver were either on the brink of a pullback or a potential breakout. And fortunately for many of our new customers, both gold and silver did pull back. Matter of fact, if you look at silver, we hit a low today of 1686, which is 1 penny above very important support right at 1685, and gold hit a low of 1265, which is also right on very key support right at the 1264 level. So both of the precious metals have pulled back, and a lot of people believe that it's predicated on the inevitable announcement which will take place on Wednesday by the Federal Reserve. Now, the inflationary numbers were fairly weak, and the jobs number was also weak. But it looks like the Federal Reserve is still set on increasing interest rates by 1/4 point. Now, it'll be interesting to see how the markets react. Many people believe it's already baked in, and that's why we've received a little bit of a pullback in the precious metals. But if you go back from December of last year and think about the 3 other rate increases, each and every time after the announcement, we've seen a nice pop back to the upside. So quite frankly, I think both gold and silver are positioned very well for a move back up. And I think anybody who is thinking about utilizing them as a preservation of capital or diversification strategy should really think about doing something immediately, because the prices are very conducive to long-term success. Now, it was interesting because over the weekend I did a lot of reading, and one of the things I did read was the situation that exists right now in gold and some of the top investment advisors that are recommending gold. And I found it very interesting because when you look and see 4 or 5 of what I consider the icons of the investment community, and all of these gentlemen are talking about why it makes sense to own gold. Now, the first individual was Jacob Rothschild. And for those of you who understand anything about finance, everyone knows that the Rothschild family is probably the richest family in the world, and their net worth can't even be estimated. But Jacob came out and talked a little bit about why he feels gold makes sense. And I'm going to actually go to my notes, because whenever I quote somebody, obviously I got to get it right. So Lord Jacob Rothschild stated, "We are in uncharted water, and it will be impossible to predict the unintended consequences of historic low interest rates and 30% of global debt at negative yield." He is recommending that at a minimum, investors hold 8% of their portfolio in precious metals. Now, interestingly enough, another major hedge fund manager who actually worked with George Soros, his name is Stanley Druckenmiller, who was a big gold buyer before Trump was elected and was given the reputation as the major seller after he was elected, has come back into the gold market when it pulled back. And he had a very interesting quote also, and I will read it back to you. "Since no country wants its currency to strengthen, it makes sense to buy gold. Gold was down a lot, and obviously it was at the beginning of the year. We hit a low of 1217. So I bought it back." And obviously when this gentleman takes positions, it has a tendency to be very large. Now, there's another hedge fund manager, a little bit younger. His name is David Einhorn. And he has been famous for an average yield of 20% for the last 20 years as far as his hedge fund. And if you go back, 18 out of those 20 years were positive. He only actually had 2 years where there was a drawdown. And he is a big player in gold right now and is absolutely in love with it, and comes out and says, "The Trump administration comes with a high degree of uncertainty. And if it can get policy initiated, it appears to be focused on stimulating growth and increasing inflation. And we all know inflation could be one of the best catalysts as far as precious metals are concerned. Now, I want to close it up with probably my favorite hedge fund manager. His name is Ray Dalio. And if you've ever had an opportunity to listen to him speak, you understand the brilliance that exists within this man's mind. Now, he is the major player in the hedge fund business, worth well over $16 billion, managed $140 billion for Bridgewater Capital. And his quote is, "If you don't own gold now, you know neither history or economics." And I think that really comes home to roost, because if you think about what's happening in the world and you think about the overall correlation to the economic situation that currently exists, now may be the greatest time to own gold. Here at Monex, we are fully prepared to assist you in adding gold to your portfolio in a physical fashion, which provides you with the ultimate safety as far as precious metals. Lots of people own paper that says they own gold. We sell you real gold. Give us a call today so we can help you with your portfolio. Thank you.